T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Rips the helmet off Rudolph's head and then eventually swings it and hits him in the head.
1, 2, 3, where you not hardcore? Well, let you live hardcore. And the letter of the rich was way hardcore. Yeah! Now.
What's up? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live, the official webcast of the Hardcore Challenge, which, as you all know, is the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. If you are not playing fantasy football in the Hardcore Challenge, are you really even playing fantasy football? You're really just prepping, hoping there's an opening in this league so you can play with the big boys. Season 13, we are over halfway through. It is freaking week 9. Shit has gotten real. Clearly teams that are absolutely dead in the water, they are already planning for 2022. They've given up, they're waving the white flag, and there are other teams that are still streaking. Even one of them still waiting for a first loss. Who's going to step up and put one on the chin of Knox Vegas Anarchy? Kevin's just... he's making the league his bitch this season, and we can't have that. We can't have that. Let's start, shall we? Nice little segue there into our Week 8 game of the week. Speaking of Knox Vegas Anarchy, they get the big win over Bison Broncos 2 weeks ago. Kent and the Bison Broncos were undefeated. Take one on the chin from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Take another on the chin from Knox Vegas Anarchy. And Kent's reeling a little bit coming out of this loss, second straight loss in game of the week, missing Derrick Henry now for the rest of the season. So Bison Broncos, they're reeling a little bit. They're still sitting atop their division, but this was a big win for Knox Vegas Anarchy. Let's check out that box score, what the score actually was for that game. It was 210 to 172. You see there, you just started to pull away. Kevin just started to pull away there towards the end of the game, and it just wasn't close, as he has done all season. He's the highest scoring team. He's sitting 8-0. Shit. We probably know where he's at on the Power 5, so we don't need to jump right there just yet. He's number 1. Spoiler alert. Fucking shocker. He's killing it right now. He's a former champ, and he's looking for number 2 right now, and we're not liking it. We're not liking it. The rest of us, we ain't liking that shit. That takes us. Let's got to put a bow on week 8 before we get into week 9.
There's a platform stage. People.
This week's big ballers over in the AFC. Bleeding Green popped up with a huge week this week as he put up 216 points. Bleeding Green, a solid week. He was the big baller over in the AFC, but the big baller in the NFC and the big baller league wide was Skull Crushers, who put up 241. Gary came out like, man, he's serious all of a sudden. with that big 241. And we're going to see. He's hanging in there. He's staying in the hunt. And that was a big win and a solid score, as Gary is the big baller of week 9. Congratulations, Gary. Congratulations. And that takes us to our updated Power 5. Some teams lost, some teams won. We have a shuffle, but nothing changed. At the top, you still got Knox Vegas Anarchy. But you see who slid all the way up to number 2. Mr. Willie Weems sitting at number 2 at 6-2 as the Bandits now sitting. They're fighting for top dog in the NFC right now with Knoxville Assassins, who took one on the chin this last week, had a chance to move to 7-1 and own this whole be number 1, running out in front of the rest of the conference. But they took one on the chin a little bit, slid down. So we got number 2, number 3. Spoiler alert, they play each other this week. Is that a possible game of the week? Bison Broncos, they're still in the Power 5. They've lost 2 straight game of the weeks and lost to top flight competition. They lost to Knox Vegas Anarchy, who's 8-0. Lost to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, our most storied owner in the league. So he's taking, they were losses in game of the week. So they were good losses, if there's such a thing. Just win, baby. He's creeped up to number 5. 6-2. He's hanging in there. Brian, one of our owners we brought over from the Raider Reaction Madden League. He's doing a little better than Richard. Richard's not faring as well as he did in Madden. He's struggling a little down in the dirty south of the NFC. That is your Power 5. We take it to the top first, and then we go to the fucking cellar. In the cellar, we got 2. We got 2. Big Dog, Renegade Misfits, both with wins this week. I gotta pull them off. They're coming off the shit list. Nobody with 2 losses or 2 wins is going to be on the shit list currently. Now, next week, you're going to see some separation. If I lose again, the Emperors lose again, Renegade Misfits lose again, Big Dog loses again. We're all going right back on the shit list. But right now, there are clearly 2 teams, heads and tails above everybody else, that deserve to be highlighted on the shit list at this point in the season. And that is AFC's Buckaraider 2002. Reggie is just, he doesn't know what the hell's going on right now. He's lost. He's confused. He's looking to 2020. It ain't good. And then there's Jake. Jake from State Farm, making bad decisions in his cubicle. We even had to spank Jake, committing cardinal sins, not filling out his team properly. He was trying to make moves, but he was trying to do things in the wrong way. You must feel that his number 1 rule around here at the Hardcore Challenge. You do not put a team on the field. You put a team on the field every week. I don't care if you're and whatever. Every week, you come here and you put a team out there and you try to win. You can make trades. You can do anything. I don't care. We don't care if you're setting up for next season, trying to trade and get draft picks. Of course you can do that. It's Dynasty Keeper League. You got to do that to survive. But you got to keep a team on the field. And you got to fill them by spots, man. You can't be running with no quarterback and no running backs and going. That's just handing somebody a W. And there ain't no free passes in the Hardcore Challenge. It's the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. And we don't hand out hall passes. Fuck that. So Jake with State Farm, he's getting it together. Just had a big trade. Him and Under the Influence go through. So hopefully, man, you don't want to be with Mo and Zach in the offers. This is 13 seasons. Only 2 owners in the entire history of the Hardcore Challenge have won an offer, and you don't want to be the 3rd, Jake. Come on, Jake. You can do it. We got faith in you. Pull it together. Oh, goodness gracious. That takes us to week 9. The week 9 game of the week. We've had 2 straight game of the weeks over in the AFC, and they were the game of the week in the entire league. There was no debate. Those were huge matchups. Number 1, number 2, number 3 is on top of the Power 5. Undefeated teams playing each other. So there was no debate the last couple weeks who the game of the week was. And there is.
All I have in this world is my thoughts and my words, and I don't break them for no one. You understand?
And there's only one game that can be the game of the week this week. And Willie already sending me messages. He was scared. He's got, you know, he's all superstitious. He don't want me to pick him. But unfortunately, the game of the week this week is for supremacy. Right now, who's going to be the top dog? It's down to 3 teams right now in the NFC, and 2 of them are facing off this week. You've got the Bandits, who are sitting at number 2 on your Power 5, facing off against Knoxville Assassins, who is sitting at 6-2 over in the Elite East of the NFC. This is a former champion, and Brad, who has come back, brought the Knoxville Assassins back to relevancy. He's been scratching back in these last few seasons. He'd really had a cold spell early in the Hardcore Challenge back years ago. He was one of the top dogs. It kind of fell off, but he's starting to scratch his way back, and right now he's sitting tied atop the NFC. Both these teams are 6-2, and this is going to be an interesting matchup. Let's take a look a little closer.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
It's time
Is this not why you are here?
for the Hardcore Challenge Game of the Week.
It's Knoxville Assassins versus the Bandits. You got the leader of the NFC Dirty South against the leader of the NFC Elite East. As you see by the projection on the line chart, man, it is going to be a close game. Right now, the Bandits are projected to win 166 to 159, but that is 7 points. That could go either way really quickly. This is going to be an interesting game, and the story right there is when you look at the benches of both of these teams, they're hit hard this week. Both are buck heavy, man. You've got one team they're losing the Bucks D, losing Shaq Barrett, but look over there at Willie's team, man, losing Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, who hasn't had, no Mike Evans, no Ronald Jones, Devin White, and so he's running with Raplesberger at quarterback this week. And you know he's concerned. He's still projected to win. I mean, Knoxville Assassins is also missing DK Metcalf. He's missing a kicker. You know, he's got Odell Beckham that ain't been playing. AJ Green's out with fucking COVID. He's got issues as well. So this is the kind of matchup I like to see in the middle of the fantasy football season. Everybody's got bye weeks. I don't want to hear I had my guys were on bye. You got to plan for this shit. You should have been looking ahead, man. This is week 9. That's what you had Raplesberger on the bench for, was for this week. So is he going to be the guy that can get you through this week? Because you knew at some point you're going to have to sit down that starter. So this is an interesting game. And this late in the season, man, this could play interesting. And how the seeding comes out and who gets a first round bye in the NFC. You got Willie and the Bandits facing off against Brad and the Knoxville Assassins. Who are you picking? Who are you picking? Who are you picking? I'm sorry. I can't pick you, Willie. I don't think you're going to win. I don't think Roethlisberger's the man. I think Mahomes is getting handed something with the Aaron Rodgers bullshit going on in Green Bay. I got immunized. Oh, motherfucker, you sure didn't get no needle. And I think that's going to end up for a big game for Mahomes and the Chiefs. I don't think Raplesberger puts up a bunch of points this week. That could be the one little part that sways it, is not having your full team and your starting quarterback. I'm picking Brad and the Knoxville Assassins to move up to 7-2. Willie's going to take one on the chin a little bit, but Willie's got a solid team, man, and he's putting up some crazy points right now. And like I pointed out, he's got a lot of guys on bye, and he's going to be coming back strong off this loss. So I don't think nothing of it, but Brad wins your game of the week. That's my prediction right there. 4 minutes away from kickoff of week 9. The trades are going through. We're right at the trade deadline in the Hardcore Challenge. I'll be posting all the info of that. We're going to let you guys trade right up basically till the minute of the trade deadline, and then we'll run the waiting period after the deadline. So you can run trades right up to the deadline. We're going to impose the waiting period after. I think that's the fairest way. I see that trades are flying around right now. I think there was like 4 come through this week. It's that time. Just make sure you're watching your bench. The reserve spots are only for COVID and only IR. I myself got caught up in it a week or so ago with Hasty. He was on the IR. All of a sudden on game day, they pulled him off of IR. I had to make a fucking move. I had to drop somebody. You got to keep an eye on that. They'll pop on COVID, and the guys, they can pull guys off of IR. It's not like it used to be where you only had basically mid-season to bring somebody out. Now they can do it after 3 weeks. It's just different. So you got to keep an eye on that. Make sure you've got that defensive guy on that bench spot. Your 7th spot on your bench is defensive and defensive only. Team defense or individual defensive player. That's the whole reason we added it, was support the defensive side of the ball, not so you can stockpile running backs and wide receivers and hoard shit away for fucking winter and bad weather. That's not what it's for. Not what it's for at all. Let's take a fast spin around the league, shall we? And I'm telling you fast because we've only got minutes to kick off. Minutes. The fastest spin around the league we got. Knoxville Assassins with a 3-game lead is owning the Great White North of the AAFC right now. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood 3 games back. That loss this week when you're chasing an 8-0 team. That one hurt. Bison Broncos has taken 2 straight. Stone Ponies is right on their ass. They've won 3 straight. Ryan is staying relevant. If I can hand Bison Broncos a loss this week, Ryan's going to love me because he's going to be possibly tied for first. Under the Influence took me down this week. That was a big loss for me. Big win for Matt because Stinky Pinky, who he was tied with, took a loss. So now Under the Influence, sole possession in the Wild West of the AFC. Brash Nomads with a big win as the rest of the division loses again. In the Dirty South, Joe, All-Pro Afros, lost 5 straight. I took a tough loss this week. That one hurt. And Bucker Raider, we know what's up with him. He's lost 7 straight. The Great White North in the NFC, it's sitting at 6-2. It is all right now. Brian, he's won 3 straight. You got a 3-way tie at 4-4 behind him. They're all trying to stay relevant. Toughest division in the entire league. You got Knoxville Assassins, a former champion. He's sitting at 6-2. Corey just got on the Power 5, our current defending champ, and he fell right back off of it after losing. He's dropped to 5-3, and the 2019 champ, Take It Deep, he's just on the skids, man. He's in a shitstorm just like Aaron Rodgers. The Wild West, Black Hole, Lions sitting at 4-4, and that's enough to have a solid lead over the whole rest of the division, because this division is just a shitstorm this year, and Black Hole is the benefit of that right now. Renegade Misfits did get a win this week. Congratulations, Travis. And the Bandits. Scarlet and Gray is right on their ass, though, at 5-3. I got a Chubb with another big win. Only 2 games back at 4-4. And the greatest show on paper, our Madden guru from Raider Reaction, Richards, he's on the fucking skids, and he just ain't quite got it figured out yet. But it's his first year with this team. We'll give him a chance to tweak things before we go, really piling shit on him. It's time for kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8:20 Eastern time. It's time for Week 9 in the Hardcore Challenge. Season 13, the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. Are you ready for the challenge in Week 9?